to amaze me. After Samson did all those exploits, he prayed to God. The Bible said he was thirsty, and he prayed to God, and the Lord made water flow out of a dry jungle.
Wow, our God is indeed a wonderful God. All you just said now is in the Bible, right?
Yes.
Now let's move to the stories told by our forefathers. I mean our forefathers like Pastor Yi Adeboye, Apostle Babalola, who after a revival was coming from a revival actually, and he was tired, so he decided to rest in the mountain. And during the process of resting, he slept up. And during this process, a snake, I mean a poisonous snake, crawled across his leg. And according to the story, the snake dried up instantly. Like, how many of us here can kill a snake? I mean a less poisonous one. Single-handedly, not to think of a poisonous one. But the story made us understand that the snake dried up instantly. How many of us can see a snake and stand boldly to it and the snake will dry instantly? Let me tell you, we've seen a lot of wonders from these our forefathers, and they've impacted our lives spiritually, physically, in all other aspects. But nowadays, when we see snake, the first thing that comes to our mind is to start running and screaming at the same time. But come to think of it, is it that same God that allows water from a dry bone that they are still serving?
Yes, of course.
Then why is he not doing the same thing?
That's because our generation, we are not worshiping or serving like the people of the world. We are too quick to move from our secret place, whereby God is still beckoning on us to come back to our secret place. Whenever we receive new realm like this, we start moving up and down. But then, before God, we are still a work in progress. We don't want to pass through the process, but we want to see the results. I heard of a prophet who told God that, God, give me Scotland or I die. How many of us say, God, give me a land or I die? We pray for fire every day. But are we ready to fast and pray for 40 days, just like Elijah did? We want to hold the rain, but are we ready to wait endlessly in the place of prayer to receive the right word?
We are God's ambassadors. We are His representatives. We are His carriers of His glory. We are His carriers of His love. We are His carriers of His grace. We want to speak things into existence, just like how our God did in Genesis when He created the whole world. And how Joshua did in Joshua 10:12, when He told the sun and the moon to stand still to win a battle. How many of us are building that capacity, both physically and spiritually? How many of us are meditating day and night in order to be men of valor, just like our forefathers, our foremothers, like Deborah, Isaiah, Elisha, Elijah? How many of us are doing those things?
The miracle working God of our Father is still in existence. Oh, you worship and be yes, we are the one not praising Him. We are the one not serving Him as we ought to. We are the one limiting God's work in our life. Look at Peter in the cave of Babylon and the 120 disciples. Peter was able to tarry in the upper room, and his shadow, his shadow could raise the dead and heal those that were sick.
His shadow?
Yes.
You mean just the shadow?
His shadow
was healing sick people?
Yes.
Wow, our God is a wonderful. Our God is really wonderful. Well, our God is always ready to move. It just needs you and I to live a life filled with love, compassion, and kindness. Our God will never move in an environment whereby there is hatred, there is envy, there is any kind of malicious feeling. And you want the same God who said we should love our neighbor just like the same way we love ourselves. You want that same God to move in such a malicious environment whereby you hate one another, you are easily angered, you envy easily. Our God will never move in such a situation. So
work for us. But most of us, we want to come to this altar. But then, as an ambassador, being on the altar is not the only responsibility. Being on the altar is not the only responsibility. You can be a preacher and still represent God. You can be a shoemaker and still represent God. Who are those? God is sending into those rugged streets to preach the gospel, to heal the sick, to go to the hospital and heal those that are sick. Who are those that God will use their shadow to raise those that are dead? Who are those that God will use to heal those that are sick? So I want us to bow our heads this morning and say, Father, I am ready. Use me, Lord Jesus. Father, I am your representative. Can you pray to God? This is a